Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. Vijay Singh Tawar, Associate Professor in English. Presently, I have been posted at Government College, Buda in the Jujhanu district. In the video series of lectures which have been prepared by me for the students of English literature, this video lecture is meant for the students of BA Part 3rd, subject English literature as usual, paper 2nd, and in this video we are going to discuss the character of Raju in the Guide, the famous novel composed by R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan is one of the most famous novelist, Indo-Anglian author which ever born in India so far. He was born in 1906 and died in 2001. He, from the early adulthood, he tried at many sources to earn his livelihood as a teacher and other jobs also. At the same time, he was fond of writing and he used to write, compose his novels, short stories, and he used to go to publishers, requested them to publish, but they did not give him any importance. Once he met Graham Greene, who is a famous English novelist and author of England. The first lesson he gave to R.K. Narayan was to shorten his name, as his full name was Rasipuram Krishna Swami Iyer Narayan Swami. As we know, in South India, the name of the person include the name of the father, grandfather, village, area, etc., etc., etc. So he suggested that first thing he should do is to shorten his name, and at the request or suggestion of Graham Greene, he shortened his name just R.K. Narayan. And now he is one of the greatest English language novelists. And he started composing works and he created a fictional town named Malgudi. This fictional town does not exist in reality anywhere in India. But if we look at the features, characteristics of the city, we can say it is situated somewhere in South India. This shows the ability of the author to highlight the social context and provide a feel of characters through the simple narration of everyday life. He was often compared with William Faulkner. Why? Because both William Faulkner and R.K. Narayan in their works brings out the humor and energy of ordinary life and also display compassionate humanism. R.K. Narayan, Mulk Raj Anand and Raja Rao, these three authors, these three Indo-Anglian authors, they form a triumvirate of Indian literature in English. And he is credited with bringing English language writing from India to the rest of the world. What we mean to say that R.K. Narayan wrote certain works which became very popular not only in India, that is East, but also in the West. And the result was the rest of the world also started taking interest in Indian writing. So R.K. Narayan is a very great writer indeed. Now let us come to know about the novel. The Guide is one of the most popular novel of R.K. Narayan. It was written in 1958 and because of its popularity, its theme, its presentation, it was awarded Sahitya Academy Award in 1960. It is considered Narayan's one of the masterpiece and it has been translated into almost all the languages of the world. It has become an immortal classic, not of only of Indian literature or Indo-Anglo literature, but of the world literature. It has a special appeal for the East. East means the audience of the East, India and etc. area, as well as the West, that is Western world. It breathes an aroma of typical Indian life. The novel is thoroughly Indian, not only in its characters, but also in its theme, scene, and ideas. In what has been presented, it is from the Indian point of view, from the Indian context, Indian theme, Indian subject matter, Indian cities, Indian characters, everything is Indian in the novel. The novelist catches its Indianness in the form of the social and economic life of the country at that time. He holds the mirror to the Indian society of the 30s, means what type of Indian society was in the 1930s. It has been presented through this novel. He captures the rapidly changing social, economic, and religious values of that time. What kind of changes were taking place in the social sector, in the economic sector, and in the religious sector. The novel depicts the story of love triangle, husband, wife, and infest lover. The title of the novel is suitable and suggestive. Suggestive in the sense it puts the idea into mind clearly. For it is the story of a man who begins his career as a tourist guide and is gradually transformed into a spiritual guide. The theme deals with the fact that faced with compulsive circumstances, even an ordinary man can attain extraordinary personality and spiritual stature. The idea is, it is circumstances which can make even an ordinary person a great person. Love and marriage are also important part of the theme of the novel. The interaction, the cause and consequences of love and marriage is beautifully depicted in the novel. Art is another important theme of the novel. Marco's devotion to art is complete, so is Roji's. Marco was devoted to his study of statues, and Roji was devoted towards dancing. But there is lack of understanding that paves for the way of rift in their relationship and finally drifting apart. The idea is, though they were devoted to their respective art, but they were not able to understand each other. The result was the rift was created between them and they were separated. Raju is an artist in his own right, though he is basically inclined to commercialize it. Means he's a talented person, but he knows how to use that art to earn money. The formal plot of the novel portrays the changing fortune as of its hero, Raju. The novel tells us, brings before us the story of the Raju from his boyhood to his sainthood. The story moves simultaneously on two planes, the past and the present. Let me tell you that in this novel, the author R.K. Narayan has adopted a narrative technique. He begins his novel from the middle, and sometimes after some pages, he talks of the present, and then he of the past. In this way, it moves on two planes, past and the present. The novel has two different episodes woven together by the presence of its common hero. The first episode is about Raju's relationship with Roji and Marco, and the second episode is about Raju's becoming a spiritual guide. Means we can say that Raj, when the novel begins, we are introduced with the second episode in the life of our character, that is Raju. And About his first episode, that is his relationship with Raju, we are told in the flashback technique. We first come across Raju as a young child playing with marbles and iron hoops like ordinary students, ordinary boys of that area. Then he is sent to a teacher who runs an open air school. Then he is sent to a boarding school. He does well there. But he wants to join Albert Mission School as it is considered to be a good English school. His father, however, is reluctant to send him there because he fears that the teachers might convert Raju to Christianity. What is the meaning? Meaning is that Raju was sent in ordinary school. He does very well, but he was not interested in that school. He wanted to join a very famous English medium school, but his father was not willing to send him there because his father was afraid that the teachers of that school might attract him towards Christianity. Raju is a born romantic and the panorama of life enchants him. He takes immense delight in men and vehicles, boys and dogs, bullock cart rides, games, and wandering romantic curiosity impels him to know the unknown. Even he was interested in everything that is related with human beings. He was always curious to know the unknown. However, he is not so good at studies, and his father condemns him as a clay-headed, and his mother once calls him an unmitigated loafer, a boy who is good for nothing, who is sure to come to a bad end. Means he was not doing well according to the expectations of his parents as a student. The next phase of Raju's life is that of a salesman. He sells goods in his father's shop at the railway station and proves a very successful salesman. He knows the art of satisfying his customers. When the Malgudi railway station turns into a big junction, Raju becomes a tourist guide. He knows how to deal with different sets of tourists. He treats them according to their rank and financial position. If he finds a rich tourist, he takes him around all the important tourist spots of the area and he shows him everything. Means he serves him in the best manner because his client is very rich. But if he comes to know that his client is a man of average means, he shows just a few important places. He does not show him all the places. When he has to guide some highly educated tourist, he does not explain anything in detail. He only listens to what his tourist says. Though he has not received any formal training as a tourist guide, he is an expert in job. Means he can satisfy, he presents the things or the details of a tourist spot in such a way that tourist is attracted towards his presentation. When he meets Marco and Rosie, he knows at first sight that they are rich and educated people. Means he is a expert psychologist. He knows that what kind of tourist he is going to deal with. Raju is a romantic young man. He finds Rosie charming and attractive and falls in love with her. But his love is not sincere. It is mere lust. He causes a rift between Rosie and Marco for his selfish ends. Thus, he is a self-centered man, very selfish person, as far as his relationship with Rosie is concerned. He uses Rosie to satisfy his sexual passion and earns money from her dance programs. He freely indulges in gambling, drinking, and other evils. In this way, he enjoys life at Rosie's cost. He does not mind even his mother's going away from home. He also disobeys his uncle in this matter. He can stoop to any level to serve his selfish ends. The idea is he was so commercial minded person, money minded person that in order to earn money, he does not care for his relationship with his mother, uncle, and even in the society he doesn't care for anyone. He has no moral scruples. Raju forges Roji's signature in order to get the jewelry box, and his forgery was detected, and he jailed for 2 years imprisonment on the charge of forgery. Raju turns out to be a model prisoner. Means when he was in jail, he behaved very nicely with everyone, and he is perfectly happy in jail. As he says, now I realized that people generally thought of me as being unsound and worthless, not because I deserved the label, but because they had been seeing me in the wrong place all along. To appreciate me, they should have come to the central jail and watched me. The idea is, if people will see him, they will say he is the right person who should live in jail. Raju responds enthusiastically to the various calls made on him by prison community. He becomes the teacher and comforter of the prisoners, whom he could make out of their blackest moods, the friends of the wardens, and personal servant and secretary to the jailer, or we can say superintendent. The idea is he behaved and acted in such a way that he was liked by all, by the prisoners as well as jail authorities. Next, on coming out of the jail, Raju is soon called upon to play the role of a saint. Means he was compelled or forced by the circumstances to become a saint. It is rightly said that some are born saints, others become saints, and but sainthood was thrust upon Raju. It is Velen who has made him one. Velen, whose sister was not going to marry to the choice of the groom he had selected for her. Raju interfered and she obeyed her brother. The result was Velen thought that he is a saint, and he forced, and the circumstances were in such a way happened that he became a saint. Raju has assumed the pose of a saint just to get nice food from his followers. He is only befooling the simple villagers. Even the fast that he undertakes to bring rains is thrust upon him. He never acts like a Swami, but certainly dies as a Swami. Though it is open end, but generally it is believed that he died. Here I would like to tell you that the movie which was made on the story of the guide has many things which are not in the real novel. In movie, he is shown as a saint, and there was a rain and a lot of crowds there, and business and everything was very commercial, and everyone was very happy in the end. But not so in the real novel written by R.K. Narayan. In R.K. Narayan, he just walks with the help of villain. He places his legs in the water and says that in towards at a distance he is listening to the thunder of the clouds, and it is going to be rain very soon. The novel ends. Whereas in the movie, we are shown that his mother, Roji, and other characters also came and see him, but not in the novel. In a nutshell, we can say that Raju is the central figure in the novel. is the pivot around which the whole story moves. He is a complex character and passes through several phases in his life. Paul Verghese has rightly remarked that he is one of the most complex characters of Narayan. Narayan has created many characters. He has written many novels. So he is the most complex character. In him, we find the craftiness, dishonesty, and credulity of Margaya, the fleshy bombast of Mr. Sampath, and the adventurousness of Mali in the vendor of sweets, the romantic excess of Sri Ram in waiting for the Mahatma, and the mystical leaning of Chandran in the Bachelor of Arts and Srinivas in Mr. Sampath. Means he is of the most complex character and he has the features or attributes of all the important characters which have been created by R.K. Narayan. Thank you very much.